Every time I try to start, I look at Josh, and Josh is trying to look professional, and he makes me laugh. All right, hold on. Here we go. Here we
All
go.
right.
I'm doing it. Okay, I'm going. Good afternoon, and welcome to episode, I have no idea, of Slash Trax Reviews. My name is Alex Vanover from the Slash Trax Network. Joining me, as always, is the world famous, world renowned author of Celestial Slumber, the most sexy man on the Slash Trax Network, Mr. Co-host to you and I, your friend and mine, Mr. Josh LaRue. But we're
Hey,
also, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to tell you that book you're talking about is number 2,783 on Amazon's top selling list right now. So, yeah.
Incredible. Excellent work. Nick Foley, eat your heart out. Mrs. LaRue's baby boy has written a Arkansas Times bestseller. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Today, Josh, we have a little bit of a treat. We are joined by my good friend, the shoemaker, hat maker, troublemaker, fight stirring, Brent Pham disliking, the dangerous one, not Danny Davis, the referee from the 80s, but Drew Danger himself.
Wow. Thank you guys so much.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. And
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? You know what? I want to get into this movie. By the way, guys, I think it's the 35th anniversary this year of this movie, isn't it?
Uh,
Really?
I think it's 40.
It came out in 90, so it's
Okay. So it's
2020,
30,
35.
30, 35.
35
Okay.
year anniversary of
I
this
forget how old I
classic.
am now. Okay. 35.
By the
We're
way,
we're all
um,
real close. Guys, you know what we should do
Wasabi.
right now? Let's go to our first show sponsor, Josh.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Now everybody close your eyes and concentrate. Concentrate hard. It worked.
It's here. The ice cream you've all been waiting for.
Hey, wait for me! See, I love being a turtle!
And you'll love Tip Top's new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ice cream.
Awesome! Bodacious! Cowabunga!
Hey, Josh, that sponsor, you went a long way in securing that sponsor, and I wasn't even aware of that product, man. You tell us a little bit about that product that's so near and dear to your heart.
I had to chase down the sponsor. They were driving through my neighborhood with like a jingle playing. But no, like as a kid, the ice cream truck, man, I'm honestly shocked you never had one. It's just the Ninja Turtle bar, man. Bubblegum eyes. I never really chewed the bubblegum, but in fact, the other night I was at a convenience store getting gas, and there was a guy ending his day, an ice cream truck guy, and I went and bugged him at his gas pump and bought one off of him. I sent you a picture earlier. So I just had one the other day. It's really good. Drew, you've had them too, right?
I have had them. I haven't had them since the, gosh, the early 90s. But I didn't know they were still making them.
Yeah, I didn't. That blew my mind. I had
Chase
no
down an
idea.
ice cream truck, both of you.
They're
Just
going to bring
chase
back
them
the
down.
Hostess ones,
Oh, that'd be good.
the
Uh,
Hostess pie.
yeah, hey, that's actually a show sponsor later in the episode. Hey,
Oh,
guys, doing some research for this episode. The person who directed this was a guy by the name of Steve Barron,
yes.
and he directed Coneheads. Do you guys remember the movie Coneheads? The
Dan
SNL.
Aykroyd. Oh, yeah.
So he did Coneheads. I scoured his resume to find any other movies that were even remotely on the same level, and there was nothing. But this man was a prolific music video director. And I wrote down some of the music videos he directed, and it's going to blow your guys' minds because I couldn't believe it. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. He
Mhm.
did Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. He did Toto by Africa.
Wow.
He did Take on Me by
By the way,
Aha.
yeah.
And he did Summer of '69 by Brian Adams.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
What a resume. I knew he did some music videos.
But that's like Money for Nothing by Dire Straits was like one of the like it was a computerized slash cartoon thing. Billie Jean by Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. First single on Thriller, which is the biggest selling album of all time. It's unbelievable. I saw something in my research though that he didn't even finish the movie. He he got thrown like did he get thrown off the set or did they?
I know the story.
Okay,
I
well tell us
actually,
what happened.
okay, so here's what happened. So Jim Henson had reached out to Steve Barron and his associate because they were running out of money for the distributing of the film. So Jim Henson came up with the plan. He said, "Why don't you talk to the distribution over at Disney, and I can hook you up with that." So he talked to the guy. Well, the guy that was in the executive that was over Steve Barron, got a call from Disney. Instead of
Okay.
Steve Barron getting the call, he got the call. And Disney's like, "Hey, we'll do distribution for you. Like, no problem. We saw some of the film." And he's like, "No, we won't do that." And he's like, "Those guys went over my head." And then he fired Barron and his associate off the movie. So,
Okay.
and then it leads to there was scenes that they shot and the director's cut version that we've never gotten that went with them. And so
Okay.
they never put it out ever because of the whole situation. They got caught up in that.
Damn it.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Hashtag
There's
release the Baron cut.
Yeah. That's what everybody wants.
the Baron cut is like the Snyder cut of Justice League. The Baron cut is like 4 hours long.
Watch it.
Dude, okay, so
What do we got?
let's talk about the cast.
Yep.
Let's talk about the cast a little bit.
Okay.
Josh, Judith Hogue, April O'Neil. She was in the Halloween Town movies that were on Disney. So I wasn't a big fan of not that I wasn't a big fan, but I was 14, 15 when
Yeah.
those movies were kind of coming out. So it was past my they didn't catch me on that one. She played a bit part in Armageddon. She played a bit part in Cadillac Man, which was a Robin Williams movie, I believe, where he's like a shady used car salesman. And Josh, this is interesting. She was the doctor in the Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake. She was the doctor when one of the, Freddy's victims comes in. She's April O'Neil's the doctor. So,
I think I was asleep during that scene last time I watched the remake, but
yeah,
the
we were
voice
both
seems
asleep
familiar.
when we had to riff that movie. We were both snoozing when she appeared on screen.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow.
Halloween Town.
I didn't know
man.
she was in that.
Yeah, I was.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was a little too old for that too. That's why I missed out on like Beetleborgs and Master Rider. I was like aged out. But she didn't do the sequel to Ninja Turtles, right? But she came back for part 3. Is that right?
No, she didn't do either
No.
one of them.
Oh,
Drew,
okay.
why don't you take this? Because I have it written down, but I
Yeah.
bet you know.
I do know. There's a couple stories about that because they said that she was difficult, but then when you ask her about it, she said, "Because I fought for a lot of the actors because of the working conditions." And then I said, like, I asked for a raise, not just for me, but for the cast to come back to do it because they made a killing. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, if you make a killing, like, give us a little bit of a raise, make the conditions a little bit better, and we can all come back. And they said, "Nah, she's a troublemaker." So they
Yeah.
moved her. They moved her right off the set, and then they brought in Paige Turco to do Turtles 2 and 3.
Okay.
Which when I was when Turtle, okay, so I was 8 or 9 when Secret of the Ooze came out. Even as an 8 or 9-year-old, guys, when I went to see that, I was like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Took me out of it. Like even as a little guy, I knew this was bullshit.
The sequel.
Yeah,
is
it was
like-
weird.
Yeah, the whole movie was weird. Going to the sequel after seeing the first one in theaters.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
It wasn't
No,
part 3
Josh.
bad where I wanted to. I fell asleep. I fell asleep watching part 3 in the theater. But
So did I.
Part 2
So
is
did I.
still like, who are these? I know they used villains from the comics and stuff, but like at that point, kids were wanting Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, Baxter Stockman and stuff. I know we'll probably do a review on the sequel in the future, so I'll keep it short. But there's nothing that has ever topped the first movie. And
Josh,
Yeah.
the creators of part 2 were like, "Josh, you're gonna get Toka and Razar, and you're gonna like it.
we got Bebop
You're gonna
and
get-
Rocksteady at home.
Yeah, you're gonna get giant mutant dandelions, Josh, and you're gonna like it, and that's what you're getting." Okay. Okay. Elias Elias Cotes, how do you say his name?
Coteus.
Coteus.
Mhm.
My Casey Jones.
Yep.
Your Casey Jones. Everybody's Casey Jones. I had first seen this guy in Look Who's Talking 2. He was
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was dating Kirstie Alley's best friend in that movie. So I saw him in that. He was also he came back for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. He
That's what it
played the
was.
serial killer. He played the serial killer in the classic kind of thriller late 90s movie Fallen. It was like a Denzel Washington movie. He was in Apt Pupil. He was in The Thin Red Line. He was in Zodiac. And he was also in The Greatest Game Ever Played. So he's been working consistently ever since this film came out in 1990.
Yeah.
Big reason why he didn't come back in Secret of the Ooze. He was not directly attached to Judith Hogue, but when they got rid of her character for her to play April, I don't know this. Either he decided not to do it, is what happened, Drew. He decided not to do it, or they just wrote him out.
No, he was game to do Turtles 2. He was game to be all in it, like Judith pretty much was. But what happened was parents complained that Casey Jones was too scary and he was too dark. And when they did the second movie, when it got in the wrong hands, they said, okay, it needs to be lighter. They can't use their weapons. Casey Jones has got to go because he's too scary, because the parents are complaining. None of the kids complain. None of the kids complain. That's what's funny. None of the kids complain.
Yeah.
It was all the parents. The problems Ninja Turtles had from the movie, or just Ninja Turtles in general, the complaints that they got came from the parents. I remember seeing news reports of the lady that said she had the cussing Ninja Turtle and she played it, didn't cuss. You know, everybody was making problems for them. So Casey Jones was looked at as scary by the parents, and Shredder was too scary, so they had to tone him down. And that's how you end up with Razor and Toka. Because
and Super Shredder and Michelangelo using sausage links instead of
yes,
nunchucks.
because they
That's
said
also
nunchucks.
the
No, you can't do that.
No, parents are the reason we lost Lord Zed as well.
Yes,
Power Rangers. I will tell you one
Wait a
funny
minute.
thing. Yeah, that's why we got the Machine Empires, because parents complained about Lord Zed being too scary.
What are you talking about? Lord Zed
He was
wasn't
original for America. He wasn't from Japanese.
all
footage.
right.
he was too scary.
Yep. I will make an admission here. Until I was about 14, I thought Casey Jones was played by Christopher Maloney. So that's
a common mistake.
really okay. All right.
Yes. Yeah, you're good, buddy. Listen, that was a common mistake because Maloney he can look kind of similar to Elias in a certain light. Like they look like they're related.
They do.
And so it's kind of like Chris Potter and Lyndon Ashby. Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage in the first Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
and then Chris Potter, from Kung Fu: The Legend Continues, who's also the original voice of Gambit for X-Men the Animated. They are very similar looking, and they get mixed up all the time.
Okay. I don't feel so bad then, if that's a comment.
No, don't feel bad. People mix them up
They're very
all the
familial.
time.
Yeah.
I just knew. Okay, so when he didn't come back for Secret of the Ooze,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, he's their best friend. Raphael and him, they built it up with this great friendship and relationship. He had these great, really touching scenes with Donatello where they're working on the truck. And it just made no sense because, like, okay, the shit's really hit the fan. We need Casey. Where is he? They don't even explain it.
No, it's like he didn't exist. Like,
Yeah,
It's-
that's a no-go for me.
They bring him back in part 3 because they're making the movie. They're like, kids they're gonna sleep through this anyway, so he ain't gonna scare nobody.
They just had him come. They just had him come back in part 3 to babysit.
yeah, those samurai warriors.
Samurai warriors.
Oh, God, what were they thinking? Seriously, I mean, I hate to quote the AVGN here, but he did a review on part 3. But what were they thinking with part 3?
The
I look
script
forward
was supposed to be Turtles in Time.
Yes, like the video game. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
It was
my
supposed to
gosh.
be really cool, but then came that thing about, the money and how much time do we want to put? Because this is going to be the last one, right? So we just got to sling out a third movie. So
Ugh.
let's just slap it together and see what we could do.
Nightmare
That's what
Fuel turtle
happened.
suits. Oh my gosh, they were scary. That's scary. The suits from part 3 are terrifying. That's what
Oh,
scares
yeah.
kids.
The suits, some of those suits are still like around and they're like on sale at some auctions and they go up randomly for sale, but they're deteriorating and rotting so bad that they don't sell. The eyes are rotting out, the face is falling apart. They look like zombie turtles.
That movie made me feel embarrassed.
That's
for
what
being
happened to a
freckled.
lot of that stuff.
Yeah, they have freckles. They have tons of ice cube freckles. The
I was
turtles
embarrassed
have
of mine because of part 3, man. Like I didn't want to go out in public.
um okay, hey, James Saito or Sato?
Mhm.
Is it Saito? Okay. He played Oroku Saki and the Shredder. Okay. He was in Die Hard with a Vengeance. He was in The Devil's Advocate. He was in the classic major motion picture classic film. Everybody loves this film, Home Alone 3. He was also in the epic, financially successful, but critically panned Pearl Harbor.
Oh,
Been in a wide variety of genres and films. You know what I wish they would have done? I wish Home Alone 3 guys would have just been him coming back as Shredder and Kevin McAllister has to protect his house from Shredder and the Foot Clan.
That'd be fun.
that would have been
Watch it.
something.
I'd watch it.
Badass, dude. Paint cans hitting Sato in the face. Fucking foot soldiers burning their hand on the McAllister door handle. Micro machines. I want it all.
You know what? Hey, Robot Chicken might do that one day.
Toka and Razar trying to get into Buzz's room, and they're on the shelves, and it just collapses on them. I want it all. Okay, Josh, here's a good one. Brian Tochi, okay, played Leonardo. He did the voice.
Yeah.
You all know him as Takashi from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
He's the nerd who has a jockstrap put on his face. He's also the one who's riding the tricycle in the games at the end of the movie. He drinks like 30 beers. They ask him how he's doing. He says, "Fucking great." One of my favorite nerds. He was in Police Academy 3 and 4, all the Ninja Turtles movies, and he did so many voiceover jobs for Disney films that we grew up with that I couldn't even list them all. Like any Disney movie that you saw with your family growing up, guys, Brian Tochi was in.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not know that. I didn't know he was so prolific at voiceover work. Here is friend of the channel, person who got us our first content strike, Corey Feldman as Donatello.
What? Wait, what?
He got us 2 strikes.
What?
The second one, we didn't even have it up anymore.
Yeah, we almost lost the channel because
Over
of
Corey
Corey
Feldman.
Feldman.
What the heck?
Yes. We put up a PSA in one of our Saturday morning reviews, Drew, and it was just Corey Feldman talking about like why you shouldn't do drugs. And the person who directed the commercial with him
Good friends with Corey.
is
by the
good
way.
friends with Corey Feldman. He put up the strike because we didn't get permission, but all the commercials we put in are fair use.
Yeah.
He decided to not allow us to use it. He didn't talk to us, nothing. So we get a strike. Josh and I edit the PSA out.
Completely.
Okay. Completely put it out. Put the episode back up. The guy who's working for Corey, who directed that PSA, immediately flags it as a strike again, which tells Josh and I what, Drew? He did not watch the edited video.
No.
He just immediately flagged it again.
I don't think he
So
liked you
Very
guys.
petty. Very
Oh.
petty.
Josh wrote him personally to explain to him what we did. I contacted him to tell him what we did. He ignored both of us, and we just had to wait it out, man. We had to wait out 90 days. It was
And-
bad.
Hey, but now we have a
Wow.
lost episode that we can air in the
DuckTales.
future. In the future,
Yeah,
Uh,
money
the-
vanishes.
DuckTales. It'd be funny if we upload that in like 2 years as the lost episode, and we get a flag on it.
Flagged immediately, just flagged again.
Oh no.
Yeah. So friend of the channel, Corey Feldman, Goonies 2, probably having the greatest time of his life now.
Be careful. Don't make him mad.
He was in Goonies,
What's
Stand
up
By
with
Me,
the youth, man?
Lost Boys, License to Drive, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, Dream a Little Dream. Corey Feldman, in all the jokes people make about him and everything people have said about him and all the spectacles he makes out of himself, that man has had a great career. He has done so many films that I personally love. I have 3 of his movies in front of me right now, in front of me in my studio. I like Corey Feldman.
Is your
he
address
just-
still the same, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send you some chapstick for those lips there. You just got
Oh,
them all
stop.
chapped, kissing his butt.
I like Corey Feldman. I just don't. I'm not a fan of him giving us copyright strikes without talking to us.
Oh,
Kevin Clash, okay,
Yeah.
Master Splinter, Josh, played Elmo on Sesame Street for decades. Supplied voices and puppetry work for the Jim Henson Workshop for decades. He played Splinter in the first Ninja Turtles and the second. Did not come back for the third one because he realized how terrible the movie was going to be, so he dipped. But Kevin Clash, master of the voice work and puppetry on, I grew up watching Kevin Clash, and I'm sure you guys did too, on the Children's Television Workshop for years. Let's move on. Okay, Josh, here's a fun fact, guys. Drew, listen to this.
Yum.
Skeet Ulrich, okay? Skeet
boy.
Ulrich, who played the first Ghostface in Scream, played Billy Loomis, and Scott Wolf, who's world famous for Party of Five, and he was also always a waiter in the background at the Max on Saved by the Bell. They appear as unnamed members of the Foot Clan. So if you look closely, Billy Loomis, Ghostface himself, got all of his slashing training from Master Shredder.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I didn't know Skeet was on
Yeah.
the movie as an extra. That's crazy.
He was. And the more you know, Josh, let's go to our second sponsored commercial break of the episode.
All right.
Heroes in a half shell are baking a surprise. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies. Fresh from the sewers to you. Their mind go delicious, you know that's true. Because they're filled with mutagen goo. That's vanilla pudding, dude. They got the tastiest, flakiest, greatest crust. Even better than on pizza. And it's green. Like us. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies. Fresh from the sewers to you. Radically sweet.
They can't be beat.
And there's a free turtle sticker inside. That's neat. New from Boston. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies. Fresh from the sewers to you.
Hey, Josh, are you hungry?
A little bit, man. I'd rather have the pie before the ice cream bar. But I may have only had like 2 of those when I was a kid. But because I think friends had them in their lunch that they brought. I had like Ecto Cooler. They had a turtle pie, so we'd trade or something. But I remember liking them. I don't remember what flavor they were though.
They were green.
Turtle
I
flavor?
don't remember the flavor either, but I
Vanilla.
do remember.
They were vanilla. They just put so it was the vanilla pie, right?
Okay.
With the pie filling that was vanilla, and they just dyed it. They used the color dye to turn it green.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and getting those pies, and I remember also being a kid after eating those pies. And I do remember being terrified and like having to talk to my mom because I thought there was like something wrong with me, right? Because of all the food coloring.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm 8 years old. I'm like, I don't know why this is green, but we need to figure this out, Mom. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad deal.
Funny.
Oh man.
Funny aside, since you brought that up, I'm just going to share this really quick story. In the summer that I was 14, I was working with my dad, rest in peace, at his tire shop. And I was trying to like get in shape. So I bought some like supplement things, and my dad took them too. And so did my brother, who also worked at the shop. Well, it turned my urine green and it freaked me out. So I called the number and left a message saying, I'm scared. My name Is Josh LaRue? My urine's green. Is this normal? Da 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 da. Please call me and let me know. My dad gets the phone rings at the shop. I gave him the shop number. He answers it. And they're like, is this Mr. LaRue? And he says, yes. And they say, sir, it is absolutely normal for your urine to be green. And there's nothing to worry about. He's like, okay, hangs up the phone. And he was like, that was weird. We're like, what? He's like, I didn't tell anybody my pee has been green. That was what. So
he thought that a random person just called him to tell him it was okay.
It weird. I had to explain it to him. He about killed me. Oh, he's like, what the hell?
That's like the Back to the Future Part 2. It's like, I've been looking for you.
Oh,
I've got
yeah,
a letter,
he's all-
Mr. LaRue. Yeah, pulls out the fucking letter that he wrote himself 30 years ago about his urine. Okay, hey, let's get into kind of some background information about this film.
Sure.
Now, this movie, Drew and Josh, this was released on March 30th, 1990 in
Yes.
the USA. And we kind of talked about the budget not being that high or whatever for production reasons, but the budget at the time was $13.5 million. The film, as Drew alluded to, made $202 million in 1990 money. So,
Yeah.
700 now.
oh my God, like almost $1 billion if you adjust it for inflation.
Yeah.
Just amazing. At the time, it was the biggest grossing independent film of all time. So no film had ever grossed more money on an independent film level than that movie. And it was also the number 9 highest grossing film of the year for 1990. Just gangbusters. They are printing money at this point. The movie, the style of this film was like they took a lot of elements from Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird's comic book, and they tried to stay true to that, but they also meshed it with elements of the cartoon. So they didn't just all have the red, bandanas. They all had different colors like the cartoon. They weren't as dark. I mean, in the comic book, they're literally killing people.
True.
They kill people. They're like Batman almost. Grittier, darker. They still have some of those elements. I can only imagine what the moms and dads of that time would have done if Raphael just, gutted somebody with his sigh. Probably would have
shoot.
went over as well,
He tries to in the cartoon the first time he sees a Foot Clan person. Remember, he doesn't
Yes,
know it. He doesn't.
yes.
They don't know it's a robot, and he just.
Oh yeah, Drew, our very first Saturday morning review,
Mm-hmm.
Josh and I noticed that before they realized the foot soldiers are robots, okay?
Okay.
Turtles are straight up using their weapons. Like Raphael's gutting these foot soldiers and Leonardo's katana blading all of them. Donatello's braining them. Michelangelo's whacking them in the face with his nunchucks. Like, then they find out they're robots after the fact.
Yeah. Like,
Oh
so
my
they-
gosh. I didn't think
Oversight.
about that.
Yeah,
Oversight.
they're like, oh, they're robots. We can attack, but they literally were straight up trying to kill them, like for real.
That is crazy. And I have that whole show on DVD. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. I got it for my son for us to check out.
Nice,
And we can go through it and everything. So I'm gonna go look at that now.
dude. The first, I'm telling you, man, they just straight up start using their weapons, and it's not even addressed. Nobody says anything. Okay, so Drew said this earlier. Many major motion picture studios turned down distributing the film, and they were scared, Josh, because Masters of the Universe, which came out in 1987, and if you know, which you do know, you guys both know, HeMan was for the 80s was the king of toys for boys' toys in the 80s. It was number one. It was beating Barbie, so it was destroying the toy market. Everybody had He-Man. 1987 is when the bottom fell out of Masters of the Universe. There wasn't an 88 toy line. A lot of people attribute that to the movie being a complete flop. 1980, they lost their ass on that film, and all these studios were terrified of like dude, the last thing we know Ninja Turtles is printing money at this point with the cartoon and toys. We still aren't really buying it. If He-Man failed, we don't know about this. So Josh, a small picture, a small distributing, film company stepped in, and who do you think it was, Josh? Who produced this film?
I feel like the answer is like was right behind me earlier. Was it FHE? Did they do it?
It wasn't, but it was one of our favorite slashers.
New Line,
New
duh.
Line Cinema.
Yeah, okay.
So if there was no Freddy Krueger, guys, if Freddy hadn't had the major success he had, killing teens in Springwood, there would be no Ninja Turtles film.
Gotcha.
I really don't think so, man. I think this film was propped up on the dollars that Freddy Krueger had helped create at New Line Cinema, because all the other companies were scared to touch it. And Bob Shea was like, I'll do it. Sure, I'll do it. Which, by the way, this movie led to Lord of the Rings. So
True.
if there was no Ninja Turtles, there's no Lord of the Rings. And if there's no Ninja Turtles, there's no Freddy did it. Freddy did it all.
Yep.
Freddy Krueger. I don't know how you feel about Freddy Drew, but he helped out.
I mean, of course I don't like the dude's backstory, but I give him credit because he did help build New Line, started Johnny Depp's career, and there was a Heather Langenkamp, they all kind of came from that house. So I have a lot of respect for what they were trying to do at the time. So I've got no problem with that. And are you going to get into Golden Harvest at all?
Yeah. Well, you mean Jim Henson's?
Well, a Golden Harvest was the main studio before they had done the deal with New Line.
Oh yeah, talk about that a little bit.
So and this is why it's important, because Golden Harvest provided all the martial arts and stunts. Because if you guys know me, I'm a big martial artist. I'm a martial artist myself, martial arts fan, and
Black
of course
belt.
my favorite guy. I am a black belt. My favorite guy is Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee's movies were all done through Golden Harvest.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Raymond Chow that you see on there is the lead for Golden Harvest.
Wow.
So when they needed money and things set up, they needed to pay Jim Henson directly, actually, for all the suits, because the suits were ranging. They said they were between 4 to 5 for the suits, million, just for the suits alone.
Because of all the robotics and the.
Oh yeah, he built a whole new
stuff.
system.
Yeah.
He built a whole new working system he had never done in these suits, and did things with those suits he had never done in his life, and was like, all right, guys, we're just about done. And they said, we have no money. So they had to go to Raymond Chow and go, listen, Raymond, we got to get some more money. And then he was like, the turtles are huge in America. You see, like they got the cartoon, the toys. We can pay you back double fold if you just hook us up with the money we need. So then Raymond Chow came in and put down the money. Golden Harvest came in. So had there been no Bruce Lee, there'd be no Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan also did movies through Golden Harvest. So had there been no Bruce Lee, no Jackie Chan, no Turtles.
Wow.
So you're telling me no Super Cop, no Rumble in the Bronx,
That's right.
no Ninja Turtles.
That's right. No Enter the Dragon, no Way of the Dragon, no Fist of Fury. Yeah.
Wait,
Big Boss.
this goes two ways though, because if there was no Bruce Lee, there'd be no Ninja Turtles 3. So you got to look at
Thanks
both
a lot,
sides of the
Bruce.
coin here.
Thanks a lot, Freddie. Thanks a lot, Lord of the. Thanks a lot, Samwise. Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you guys, my birthday is March 31st. So I saw Turtles. Thank you. The day before, the day before my birthday is March 30th, the release date of 1990 Turtles. So I was there in a very hot Los Angeles, California, going to see Ninja Turtles opening day. And you guys want to talk about a line in Los Angeles. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure.
It went around for days, because I saw Batman 89, I saw Turtles, and I was in those huge lines.
Damn.
You think that there was
baking out in the sun, but it was cool. It was worth it.
I bet. Oh my God. I can't imagine. That would have been so cool to have that memory. You're lucky, man. I'm jealous.
I remember when I saw that movie in the theater, it was like I didn't see it opening night, but it was a Friday. It might have been the second week it was out. I was in first grade, so it was towards the end of the year, so just about ready to go into that summer. My brother, friend of the channel, the spoiler,
Spoiler.
took me to the movie theater, and at that time, the mall from my house was in our backyard. We could walk to the mall in like 2 minutes. We used to play
cool.
football and baseball in the mall parking lot.
Oh, cool.
So my brother took me to the movies. He was probably 10. I was 5. Saw Ninja Turtles, had the best time. I still remember it to this day. I'm 41. I remember that night. I remember everything about it almost because it was that exciting for me. Played Miss Pac-Man. The ticket cost was $2.50 for a Friday night showing in 1990. I just incredible. Josh, when did you first see this movie?
Probably the first week it was out. My mom took me to see it. I can't remember what my sisters and my dad. No, my dad went in with me. My mom took my sisters to see something else. I think it was was there an Ernest movie that came out that year?
Ernest
Yes,
Goes
there
to
was.
Jail was
I think they went to
around
an
that.
Ernest movie, and I went to see Ninja Turtles, it's a good memory. I remember I started doing karate. Like I'd jump up out of my seat and start doing some karate right there. My dad, sit down. But I was so excited to see the turtles when they first make the appearance in the beginning of the movie. When you finally see them,
Oh my God.
yeah,
And
cheered
hey,
out loud.
do you guys remember when they show the Turtles logo on the screen? If you look closely, it has the copyright on the bottom of the Turtles logo. It's the logo on the big screen, and it has the copyright, the little C on
Oh
the.
boy.
Why did they leave that in? That's
Accident.
ridiculous.
I bet it's an accident.
Oh, major screw up.
I saw a line that was almost a mile long one time for a Turtles movie. It was the everybody leaving the third one. That's my last. That's my last crap on part 3. I promise.
Ninja Turtles 3 was filmed in Astoria, Oregon, which I live in Oregon, and last year we went to go see the Goonies house, and we went to
cool.
the jailhouse where the brothers escape, right?
Yeah.
It's a museum now. It's not a jail. They actually have the Jeep out front of the jailhouse that they escape in, right?
Oh, wow.
Inside, they have a wall dedicated to Ninja Turtles 3 and like Kindergarten Cop and all the Short Circuit and the Ring 2, right?
Yeah.
So they have the actual time machine like MacGuffin, like the prop they use, to go back in time. It's in that place I was at. But I didn't know that pretty much all of the Japan scenes were filmed in Astoria, Oregon. I had no idea. On Cannon Beach.
I can't wait to dissect the whole movie. We're gonna have to do all 3 of them.
Ninja Turtles 3, I think, would be more of a riff, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we can just we can do that. Could be one of our non-horror riffs right there.
Where we just make fun of it, just rip the hell out of it. I might fall asleep.
I enjoyed the CGI 4th one, and I enjoyed the Michael Bay ones. But part 3 is the one I just cannot watch anymore.
Wait a minute. You like the Michael Bay movies?
The Michael Bay movies?
Come on,
Okay,
Josh.
Hold on. The memories we're talking about going to see the original in 1990, I got to take my children at the same age as I was to go see the Michael Bay movies.
Okay.
All right.
And that's why I enjoyed them through them. And the kid in me did enjoy seeing Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang on the big screen finally in the second one. But
that was cool. That was cool.
It's hilarious in the first one because you can just see dude is supposed to be Shredder. The white dude.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be. It's obvious that they did like a quick rewrite when the internet blew up about it. And
they changed it. They changed the booking.
That is the same as Family Matters when the show just got stolen.
By Urkel?
Yeah. Like you got your own sitcom. You're the head of it, like, I got my new sit. And then all of a sudden the side character just takes over the whole thing. That's what happened with Ninja Turtles 2014. Like the dude lost the role of Shredder. The video game, he's Shredder in the video game. That's what's hilarious. They didn't have time to change it.
Speaking of Family Matters, can you imagine being Reginald Vell Johnson, and you just were in Die Hard, okay?
Yeah.
Huge movie. Your fame is starting to like apex. You're in a family comedy, prime time on Friday nights, and not only are you on TGIF, you're the centerpiece of TGIF.
Yep.
This is your moment. Reginald Vell Johnson is about to take over the world. Enter Jalil White.
That
who
was my
comes
point.
in. Yeah, Jalil White comes in like episode 9. He doesn't even have a character name. He is a kid. It's nerdy kid on the paper. He is a nerdy kid. That's it. He's a date for Laura. Dude knocks it out of the park. JDF style, Green Ranger. Jalil White is the Green Ranger of Family Matters. Takes over the Family Matters universe. And Reginald Vell Johnson is no longer a main part of the show. All he is a straight man for Jalil White to bounce jokes off of for 9 seasons.
Oh,
Just
man.
put yourself in his shoes.
He still got
That'd be
paid, but it
tough.
had to suck going from being the star of the show to just being the side character.
He was a movie star. They based that show around his star power. He was Al Powell in Die Hard. He got screwed.
Alex,
And JDF was in the show too. As a
For Power
Yeah.
for Family Matters.
yes,
Yeah.
he was
What?
in the show.
And then apparently, you know what? Friend of the channel, Roger Ebert, guys,
Okay.
the very famous film critic. He normally kind of poo-poos on anything Josh and I like in our life, but he kind of gives Ninja Turtles a backhanded compliment.
okay.
Roger Ebert gave this film 2.5 out of 4 stars. He says, this is his quote, "It was nowhere near as bad as it could have been." So he's saying he appreciated it for what it was, and in his mind it could have been just a terrible, terrible film, and they avoided that. So Roger Ebert was kind of going into it with like no expectations and left kind of still shitting on the film a little bit. What's your thoughts on that, Josh?
He's 2.5 stars is what he is. Like you're not as bad as you could have been.
Yeah, screw you, Roger.
Yeah, just dude, critics. No, even when we critique something and do a review and we give our score, we tell people, but that's our opinion. Don't watch or don't watch based on what we say. Go watch it yourself and make your own decision.
Exactly.
And I don't even know why critics are a thing, why we give them any power whatsoever. It's so ridiculous. Professional critic. So you're a professional movie watcher. You're a professional opinion maker. Like, did you go to college for that? Did you get a degree for having an opinion? I say,
Roger.
man, he's a jerk. Sorry.
Roger was doing Yelp reviews 30 years before Yelp existed, Drew.
That's true. Him and Gene Siskel were
They-
doing their thing. You know,
They didn't get
back
along,
then.
dude. Siskel and Ebert didn't get along either. There's so
I
many
could
clips
see
of
that.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had some fierce. You think after like intimate time, he would like give his critique to the woman. You know?
Who? Ebert?
Yeah, yeah.
He's all, I really liked what you did there, but
It wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been.
Yeah, I was hoping when you started to go down on me, I was hoping for a what is that called? When you get a break to go get snacks, you go to the
intermission?
bathroom. Yeah,
Intermission?
I was hoping for an intermission, so we could regroup and figure things out.
I went into this hoping for a Ninja Turtles 1990 and ended up with a 1993 part 3. Oh,
What
boy,
is this?
what?
What is this?
Stinkavision.
Okay. This is the best version of 1990 that exists right now.
Oh,
And this is the closest you're going to get. It's interesting because it has a scratch and sniff option for the movie. And so when you do it and you watch the movie, it's called Stinko-Vision. And the first smell is sweet sewer home. It smells like wet dirt mixed with manure topping with a hint of mildew.
Nice.
Margarita pizza is number 2. It smells like rich tomato. Rat. It tastes like Japan and sandalwood. and vegan friendly. Radioactive ooze. So it smells like green and slimy. Hippie delight. Smells like Greenwich Village, and it's kind of pungent. The 6 is the Foot Clan Dojo, so it smells like cherry bubble gum. Love Slav, Saucy Special. Splinter's Magic smells like wood fire, and Death by Trash smells like ultimate pizza rehash, nose watering, and lethal leftovers.
That is awesome. Though I did think you said manure toffee at one point, and that what was that?
Yeah, I did say
Manure
manure topping. That's the first one. Yeah, you got it right.
Toffee, TOFF.
Oh, topping. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Okay,
Topping.
I thought you said
Yeah.
toffee, and I was like, yeah, that's ooh.
Topping.
I don't wanna know that.
Close. Yeah,
Yeah, still close. That is awesome. I have to get that.
Yeah,
is it, like,
this is
super
the best
expensive
version.
now?
Last time I saw it, I think they have it for $36.39.
That's not too bad.
About
That's not
about
bad at
right
all.
there to get. And then the other version, this is the first Blu-ray cleanup. This has the 4 original movies, and it kind of looks like a pizza box when it gets the grease on it and everything
cool.
like that. These sets, I mean, when I bought this one, it cost me like $100 something bucks to
I was
get
just
it.
gonna say.
And this is the best versions for everybody watching. Like, these, get this one. It's the best one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of messed up because they won't release a definitive cut of the film in a really nice set with the deleted scenes to give us the director's cut.
Yeah.
They won't do it. And it's kind of weird because they're saying one story is the studio doesn't believe that it's going to do what they want it to do. And then the other story is, well, they just won't release it. So I know Judith Hogue has really been pushing to get this done. So maybe we might get it done. It's one of the most requested movies to get a nice professional finish and to give us those deleted scenes. So I'm hoping that we're able to get one because I would love to see that missing shredder scene. Do you guys know about that?
I've heard something about it. I don't remember though.
What is when he comes back, right? When he comes back from the dead?
Well, what happens is, do you remember when he gives the Foot Clan soldier his mask?
Yes.
He's
Because
like,
he
"You make
earned
us
it the
all
right.
proud."
Yeah.
Yeah, he earned the right to
Yeah.
be a member of the Foot Clan.
There's a whole scene before that they took out where Shredder is sitting on his throne and you actually get the throne in light and you could see it.
Oh, cool.
And the young men that tried to rob April, they come before Shredder. And Shredder tells them that I have my Dragon Doji headband bandana and I'm going to place it here. And anyone that could knock it off or get it from me will get spared the beating. And he beats the mess out of all these guys. And that's why when you see the carpet roll out
Yeah.
in the scene, you see those guys leaning over like this.
Yeah.
That's what that's about. They got beat up by the Shredder.
Okay.
Damn it. That would have been very cool. I would love to see that.
I would love to see a definitive collection, all of that. And they can't do any worse than the animated series box sets they keep making, where they just throw all the old stuff that they've already put out and call it new. That story, right? Like all the drama behind that. Like every box set they do of the cartoon is like just the old DVD releases, like the little volume things and stuff.
Sure.
Like the numbers aren't even in the right order or anything. The episodes are all out of whack. So like it says the entire series, but there's no season sections or anything. It's just volumes, and the volumes have out of order stuff. They've not once tried to get it in order. And that's what doesn't give me much hope about getting a definitive movie. But
straight up,
I want that. We got to get that cut. So
straight up cash grab is what that sounds like.
Yep.
And Ernie Race Jr. has a deleted scene in the first movie too.
He's Donatello, by the way, /aholics.
Right. Yeah, he's in the suit, and they have him outside the suit in a deleted scene, running down an alley. And so that was one of the deleted scenes as well. But yeah, he was in that Donatello suit. He was actually a replacement because
Yeah,
the initial guy got hurt really bad
yeah.
on
They were.
set. Mhm.
I was just gonna say. So I was gonna say, let's just go. Let's get into it right now.
Yeah.
You know what? Real quick, we're gonna have another commercial. We're gonna have another commercial break. 43% on tomato, Rotten Tomatoes. So the tomato meter, critics don't like it. 43%, but people like us, people like me, Drew, Josh, all the Slashaholics, 81% on the popcorn meter. So
Yep.
fresh,
That's not gonna lie.
fresh with people, not critics. 43% with Randy Marsh, South Park food critic, not good.
Full of
Josh,
themselves.
let's go to a commercial break, and then we're going to get into some of the stuff Drew and I were just talking about.
All right, let's do it.
Get out of the way, bad dudes! It's the Turtles Party Wagon. The wacky attack van means good times for the green guys and hard knocks for the foot, especially with the tenderizer.
Yeah, and it's a big hit everywhere we go.
And look, here comes the Turtle Cycle with its working handlebar slingshot and armored sidecar.
It'll drive Shredder crazy.
Yeah, let's step on it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Vehicles and figures each sold
Those
separately
toys,
from
man, we
Playmates.
could do a whole episode just on the Ninja Turtle toys, so I'm not even gonna try to open that can of worms. Oh, sweet.
Tatsu.
That is
There you
awesome.
go. Ninja, vanish. Somebody's calling. I'll be back.
Hey Josh, so let's get into where the film was made.
All right.
All right, man. North Carolina. You're from the South. Hot as hell in July, right?
Mhm.
So you got these guys in these turtle suits that are the first suits ever made of this kind, with animatronics and robotics filled to the gills with these suits. Apparently, the suits weighed like 100 pounds. So the guys are trying to do these karate moves, and they're super slow in them also.
Yeah.
So they had to like mess with the speed in editing later on to just to make the moves look legit,
Yeah.
because everything was like so slowed down because of the weight of the suits. Exactly. Some of the guys in the suits were experiencing like heavy claustrophobia. They were sweating pounds and pounds of water every day because it was just so hot. They're moving so much. A lot of the guys had to drink over a gallon of water just to rehydrate, just to film the damn thing. This is where Judith Hogue, April, spoke up and basically said, like, these guys are being treated like crap. They should have better working conditions on the next one. There's a lot of issues we should address and adjust
Yeah.
for the future. And I can't, when you were talking about the new Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies, I had seen like an interview with some of the guys that were playing the turtles because they just had like CGI balls on
Yeah.
their body.
I bet the old
right?
guys were like, "Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair."
Well, some of those guys were deemed like absolutely replaceable, because all they were CGI, balls. Some of them weren't even the voices.
The guy who did Leonardo's voice originally for the 2014 one got replaced by Johnny Knoxville.
I did see that.
They filmed they recorded every line with this other guy, and I think he was even in one of the early trailers. But then they're like, you know what? For some reason, I think Johnny Knoxville wants to be Leonardo, so it's ridiculous.
Hey, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles.
We're gonna jump off this roof with
We're
no
gonna jump-
grappling hooks.
Exactly. I'm gonna get hit by a freaking self-defense grenade shotgun pellets.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. See how it all plays out.
Leonardo's gonna go in the middle of a bull ring and try to run away from a bull.
This pizza right here that we're giving him is laced with sleeping pills and ecstasy. So what's going on there?
I was
Remember,
waiting
guys,
for
if I
proper
gotta
notes.
go to grab my son, I'll say Ninja Vanish like Master Tatsu, okay? And then I'll
Okay.
blacken the screen.
Drop a ball. Ninja vanish. Dab
There you
duty.
go.
The Last Ronin. Do they have that?
No.
They don't have the last Ronin
They
because this
don't
is
have to be dead
way
for that.
before that.
Yeah.
But
Who is
Karai's
the-
in the show.
Karay Serpent Karay.
You know what my
Somebody get
favorite
her.
Ninja Turtle show is?
Which
What?
one?
The Next Mutation, brother.
Oh no!
I am Saban himself.
I'm kidding. I was not a fan of the 2003 series just because at the time that it came out, I was an adult, you know, like becoming an adult. So I missed it. But
Mhm.
I did watch the Nickelodeon 2012 one with my kids when it came out, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. Like I didn't hate it like I thought I would when I saw because I hate the whole cartoon CGI crap. It's like
Uh-huh.
animate. I don't like cartoons being like thick. You know, it's supposed to be cartoons, not video game cutscenes. But the show wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed it. So
I recommend this. This is where Turtles Forever came from. It's the
Okay.
last episode of the show.
okay,
So recommend if you love the comics and all the adventures, like when they go to all the Dimension X stuff, when they go to other planets, all this is in here. So they go from New York, Casey Jones, whole 9 yards. They even make the farmhouse, because in the comic book, that farmhouse that we see in the movie
Yeah.
was actually Casey Jones' farmhouse. That was his family's house. In the movie,
Okay.
they said it was April's, but in the comic book, it was Casey's. They get that right in here, and they actually hang out there. And they
Okay.
do the whole thing. And in the comic book, Leonardo is the one that gets attacked and beat up.
I did know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that. I
And
knew
guess
that.
what? They relive it in here, and Leonardo is the one that gets knocked out and half dead. But yeah. And
I
the
didn't know.
elite Foot Clan soldiers that you see in the comics are in this show. And they are tough as tough can get. Yeah, you get the whole package deal. Baxter Stockman with his original design, everything.
is it airing anywhere, like, or streaming anywhere where I can watch it?
I haven't seen it. I'm going to look for you, Josh. It is okay. This is the best turtle show, and it is the hardest one to find. I had to have this made on Blu-ray
Oh wow.
by a company that does, transfers to get it. And it is like the most loved show and the best one and the most accurate, but it's the hardest one to find. So I'm going to
Yeah.
look for you on YouTube to see if somebody snuck some stuff, maybe
check
put
it
it
out.
up.
If they did,
Yeah.
I'll watch some.
Because if you love turtles, Josh, like this is gonna be your thing. And Alex, relive and go through this. I mean, it starts from like the beginning of the turtles and it goes through every comic book adventure. There's even a tribute to Jack Kirby
What?
on here where they have
Okay,
Jack
cool.
Kirby in the show.
Okay.
Yes. This is it. This is the stuff right here.
I'll
All
check
right.
it out. I did enjoy them in I like the difference between them and the 87, like when they butted heads in the movie,
Yeah.
the last episode. And I didn't know until recently, and I just sent y'all a link in the chat part if you want to check it out later.
Sure.
They did another crossover. The 2012 Turtles did a crossover with the 87 Turtles.
Oh wow.
I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw that.
Okay.
I was heavily into the 2012 series. That's what got me back into toys, actually. The first toy I bought that started my adult toy madness mania that I have going on now was Raphael from the 2012.
There was
Oh,
rumors
wow.
going that they
Yeah.
were gonna after Rise of the Ninja Turtles wasn't that popular or something.
No,
I
not
haven't
at all.
seen one thing. I
Not at all.
heard they started releasing the 87 toys again. Like our local Walmart had almost a third of what they put out back in the day. Like there was a bunch of different types. I heard that Nickelodeon bought up all the 87 stuff and was going to re-air it as their next turtle thing. Next, instead of doing a new series, they were going to re-air the 87 series. But I haven't seen anything happen in like a year and a half since I read that somewhere. So, but that would be cool. I'd love
Yeah.
for that to happen.
That would be pretty neat. I mean, turtles, let's be honest, guys, like turtles have always been around. My son is 8. He has turtle stuff and he loves it and he thinks they're great. So it keeps recycling, through all these years. And it always seems to find its place when you think it might fizz out. There's something that happens that brings it back to catch the attention of somebody, So it's kind of crazy.
Well, re-airing the original might be a shot in the arm because a lot of parents would watch more. Some adults would be watching it again.
You could intertwine both audiences at the same time.
Power Rangers did it back in
Yeah.
season 18. They re-aired a little over half of the first season and called it season 18. It was like they added like little dance offs and stuff with Zach.
And they had little animations and like
Yeah.
behind the scenes stuff. That's actually on Netflix. Want to talk about
I
just
can read between the lines, Alex. You were doing this. I can
Oh,
read
shut
between the
up.
lines.
shut up, punk. All right, gentlemen. It's time to
Yeah.
discuss the plot a little bit. So I'm going to break it down for you guys. So get in the huddle.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
We go to
Ooh.
New York. What's going on, Josh?
Oh no, I was just thinking instead of the penicillin pies, how many terrifying human faces inside the mouth of a turtle?
Oh,
Or is that part, is that part two?
No,
Where
that's
you
part
can see-
one.
That's part one where you can see the guy's face in the mouth.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're in New York, guys. With movie introduces us to April O'Neil. She's leaving the news studio. She gets followed by the Foot Clan. They're trying to mug her. She thinks she's late on her Sony payments. Thank God Raphael shows up to defend her. Now, are all the turtles involved in this, or is it just Raph?
No, just Raph.
Yeah.
Because
He's like doing a
remember
Batman thing.
the Psy, he had lost the Psy at the beginning of
He
the movie,
loses
and
his
she
Psy.
had it in that
Exactly.
scene, and he gets it back and then, saves her.
Exactly. So Raphael defends April against all the Foot Clan members by himself, loses a Psy, and kind of disappears back into the sewers or whatever. We're introduced to the turtles. They're ordering pizza. Splinter is kind of just a fatherly figure down in the sewers. Everything's kind of going on. Aren't they ordering pizza, Drew?
No, that's before they get to April.
Okay.
So by the time they get to April, they're bringing her back because she was unconscious. When
Oh.
Raphael gets his Psy back and
Okay.
defends her, then he brings her back to the sewer, and she's passed out on the couch, and that's when she screams and everything, and that's when
Okay.
Splinter tells the story of their origin.
Okay.
Did y'all think it was pretty cool when Raph says damn?
Oh yeah.
That's
Being
what
a
I was
little
getting
kid.
at. That was such a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my mom
Being
was
a
all.
kid. So anyway, sorry, Slashaholics. I'm not going tick for tat like we always do because I've seen this movie 1,000 times. But if I do slip up, you can give me the child's play treatment and just destroy me in the comments below because I got a beat wrong.
Right.
But anyway, Raphael saves April.
Actually,
Yeah.
they had the pizza after the Psy was gone.
Exactly. Okay, so April gets saved by Raph. And the whole plot basically is April O'Neil becomes friends with the turtles. She meets them. Splinter tells them their origin story. They end up don't the Foot Clan follow
One of
Danny?
them follows. Yeah, he follows Raphael when he's bringing April back to the sewer.
Yeah, the Foot Clan finds out where the turtles live. This is big trouble. They end up kidnapping Master Splinter. So April gets fired from her job while her antique store is on fire. Casey Jones, the vigilante, badass ex-hockey player, befriends Raphael when Raphael saves some street muggers in Central Park.
Saves the
And
street muggers?
Street thugs.
He saves
whoever.
them? Okay.
He saves them because Casey Jones is gonna
Oh
finish
yeah,
them.
yeah. I thought
he
you
was
saying
going to
Casey
beat him
Jones.
up. Yeah.
I thought you said Casey Jones was saving them, and I was like,
No.
no, that's a
No,
yeah,
Raph
sorry.
is saving
Yeah,
them, and he
yeah.
says, you're going a little bit too far. Catches the Jose Canseco bat, which is like one of the greatest scenes ever. Jose Canseco bat, tell me you didn't pay money for this. All hell is breaking loose, and basically Casey Jones, April, all the turtles need to band together, regroup at April's farmhouse, somehow fix things with April's former boss at this point at the news station and his son Danny. Danny's deep in with the Foot Clan. He's actively stealing TVs off of old ladies' balconies. He's playing the game Narc. Skeet Ulrich, Ghostface himself, is at the Foot Clan lair. Master Tatsu is beating the shit out of all of these kids he's training.
Full flavor or menthol, Alex?
Exactly. They're giving ciggies out to all the new members. But the turtles have to get together. They got to come back to New York from the farmhouse and save Master Splinter. Meanwhile, guys, there's a connection. We find out that Master Splinter and Oroku Saki and Shredder have a past. and we find out what that past was. So Splinter was kind of on to Shredder the whole time, but Shredder was on to Splinter, guys, because he recognized their fighting style from Japan. He knew.
That threw me off because I didn't know about the comic at the time. So I thought Master Splinter was a human that turned into a mutant rat, not a rat that turned into like a mutant humanoid. So I got to say, when I saw the movie, that confused me a little bit. And
that's a great question, both of you.
Yeah.
I want answers from both of you. Drew, did you like that Splinter was a rat first and then became human, or did you like the cartoon version better where he's a human and becomes a rat?
I think I like the rat, but I was going to tell you guys in the original show, remember when he was human, he was supposed to be a Mato Yoshi that got turned into Splinter.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was interesting. Interesting twist on that one. I think I like him to be his own character because then it gives the depth, like, you know, his master had passed. And so he wants revenge, because that was the whole thing in the original comic, was like the revenge for the master that had passed, that he loved very much, that he learned from. So I always preferred him to be his own separate thing. But that's
what about kid Drew? Same thing as whenever you were a kid, or is that something as an adult? Okay.
As a kid, I liked the separate thing too. I thought that was cool. You know, I just thought that was cooler. Not that the whole merging of the two characters was bad at all, but it was just like, I like him to be his own thing and then have the revenge thing going. Yeah.
That was interesting in the cartoon. Basically, Shredder puts a knife in his back, like in the back of his gi, and their master shows up and he pulls, you know, Splinter pulls it out of his back and it's like he's pulling a knife on their master. I do like the revenge thing. It makes less sense if he's the same character, because if that's all the beef they have is that he got kicked out of the Foot Clan, I don't know if that's enough beef to carry over for like 30 years.
And wouldn't they call him Yoshi instead of Splinter?
True.
Yeah, there's a lot of continuities.
Y'all have swayed me. I actually think I appreciate him being a rat more.
It makes more sense.
As a kid, I thought it was kind of silly. I like the idea of like a human taking care of because here's why I like the human aspect. The turtles were turtles that mutated into humanoids. And I always looked at it as them having a human that turned into a mutant to help guide them in the world of humans. That's why I preferred Splinter to be human first, because he was able to not only train them in their karate, but also train them in the ways of being a human to you know, if they ever had to go to the surface. That's why I liked that angle better, instead of him being an animal as well. So yeah,
that's a great take. I like what you said there, because then it was like he could guide them like on the surface, because he lived on the surface, so he could kind of give them a deeper kind of take on that, which is really cool.
And y'all's take, I appreciate the rat thing more than I used to, so I'm kind of just right in the middle on it. Either way works for me.
I think it's left up to completely open to your opinion. And what you feel that you enjoy. I was confused. I will admit this. When I saw it in the theaters, I was confused. Because I was 100% the cartoon at that point. I think in first grade, for real, I think I was in a phonics class. I think I was having a hard time reading. So I probably wasn't reading the comics at that point. So yeah, I definitely was confused.
My mom thought comics were the devil, so I wasn't reading comics either.
My mom was going through phases. It was either the devil or she didn't care. She went through weird phases like that. Satanic panic every other week.
Yes.
Let's discuss the turtles. Let's discuss how they were actually represented. All right. What did we like about how they were on screen, and what didn't we like? And we're gonna start with Drew.
Okay, I think Josh had something he wanted to say.
Josh, what are you saying, brother?
Oh no, I didn't. It's just, are we gonna talk about the whole sad part of it when Raph is like in the bathtub all,
and Leo is bathing him sensuously in the tub?
I cried in the theater.
Food.
Sure. Yeah.
I shed tears as a kid in the theater over all that. So I wore my heart on my sleeve back then, but I was just wondering, are we going to talk about that or?
Yeah, we can talk. Listen, it's your show. You can talk about whatever
It's
you
your
want.
show. It's everybody's show.
Can we talk? Okay, let's talk about that real quick. But can we talk about the rooftop scene where the building's on fire real quick? Then, if we're going to get to that,
Okay.
Raphael takes off by himself again. So this is like the third time he's left. He's pissed off at everybody. He's going to go for a walk. The Foot Clan know where he is. They see him on top of the building. They go to confront him. And Raphael, being Raphael, he's cocky, he's brash, he's confident. He's easily the best fighter, probably of the four.
He's
right?
cool but rude. Yeah.
He's the strongest and he's the most talented of the fighters. Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to take on all 100 foot soldiers by himself.
Of course.
You think Leonardo's the best? Is that why you're doing this face?
Yep.
Well,
As
Raphael
a martial artist, I'm telling you, Leo's the one.
he's the
because
most technically sound.
He is the essence of a true martial artist, and he conducts himself 100%.
I can see that. That's why he's the leader of the group. I can see that.
That's why he is.
Yeah, Raph can't control his anger. He can't control his emotions. Everything's split second in the moment, like a teenager, right?
Yep.
He's a freaking moody teenager. He's pissed off.
That's why he gets
all the
messed
time.
up every time, because he moves thinking with his anger and very unclear. And Leo would completely approach it differently. And that's why he was always on top. That's why Shredder was always like Leonardo in the comic books was like, that was him. That was his guy. That was his main enemy,
Okay.
because Leo was the one that always posed the biggest threat, because he acted and had a zen to him that Shredder was afraid of. That was the thing about Leo. That's why Leo has the title of the greatest ninja.
Okay.
Hey, apples and oranges. Josh, Raph's on the top of the roof. He gets his ass kicked, but he dishes out some beatings. Okay.
Yeah.
He gets thrown through the freaking top of the antique building. Leonardo, Drew's boy, immediately goes to Raph's aid, makes sure he's still breathing. All the Foot Clan members go down to engage the turtles in a fight. Casey Jones happens to see that all hell has broken loose. He goes over to assist the turtles. It probably has one of the greatest scenes I think I've ever seen. They're using their weapons fully, full-on martial arts battle. Michelangelo's kicking some ass. Is this the scene where a fellow chucker? Is this the scene?
Yes.
Okay, so when I was a kid, and it's to this day, Michelangelo has a nunchuck off with a Foot Clan member, and it's one of the coolest scenes. It still holds up to this day. I love that scene. I get goosebumps because Michelangelo is doing all this. The Foot Clan member is all extra, and Michelangelo just takes him to task, takes him to school, and then kicks his ass. It's great.
Yeah, they chopped out that scene in England, right? In Europe,
because nunchucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teenage
and they're called
Hero Turtles.
Hero Turtles. Yes.
Hero
Good
Turtles.
one, Josh. Yes.
Yeah. So one of the greatest fight scenes, I think. This is basically the scene, the climactic scene that leads to them going to the farmhouse and regrouping for the big battle at the end of the movie. This is probably, other than the rooftop battle with Shredder, this is my favorite scene in the movie, I think. I don't know.
That
what
scene's
do you guys
great.
think?
That's a great scene.
It is. I like how the brothers were fighting beforehand. I think that's what made me so sad, seeing him, because I wished I had a better relationship with my siblings growing up. It was a pretty bad situation.
Okay,
So
I like that.
Even as a grown up, I'm not a motorcycle enthusiast or a fan, but I really like the brotherhood on Sons of Anarchy and stuff, I guess I was always trying to find that. But that scene, just the scene with Leonardo with Raphael, I know there's more than one, but whenever he's in the tub and he's with him, just watching over him, for some reason that I always get drawn back to that as one of my things I remember most of seeing it for the first time. So that was a really powerful scene for me as a kid.
What did you guys think of when they're at the farmhouse and they channel Master Splinter through the fire? Did you
Mhm.
guys like that when you were kids, or what's your thoughts? What was your take on that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I
Okay.
loved it because it was very ninja, to tap into, you know, uh, what because there was this whole thing in the '80s about the Mystic Ninja from American Ninja,
Oh
where
yeah.
you
Okay.
could, reach into almost like a magic place. If you ever saw the American Ninja movies with Michael Dudikoff and
I've seen
Steve
the first
James,
two. I saw the first
yeah,
two.
remember where he meditated and the ninja suit just popped up on him, the smoke, red belt and all, right? He's like, all right,
He
I'm
morphed.
ready to
He
go.
morphed. Yeah, he
He
morphed.
Yeah.
morphed.
So it reminded me a lot of that. And I thought that that was cool, but it's one of the most emotional scenes, minus when Raphael comes back from the movie theater and has that discussion with Splinter by himself. Those are the two scenes that really dig into you, to
Mhm.
tell him that, he's proud of them and they have mastered the most important step of the ninja, and that he's proud of all of them and he loves all of them, and it's almost like a goodbye, because he doesn't know, but it doesn't look good for him
Mhm.
to get out,
Yeah.
and they don't
Mhm.
know where he's at. They know he's with Shredder, but they don't know where the base of operation is.
Mhm.
And so that was him saying goodbye. And that hit them really hard because they were wondering, where is Splinter? Is he alive? Is he this? Is he that? And that answered all their questions. And it led them to the next chapter,
Okay.
which is to keep pushing.
I like everything you said. I think the only
Yes.
reason I asked that was because, and the only reason I asked that is because that was the scene
Mhm.
when my mom saw it. She was in her Bible phase, guys,
Oh no.
and she was having a major problem with that. And I
Oh my
remember,
gosh.
yes, I remember my mom was like, "This is like another form of witchcraft or
Oh
whatever."
my gosh.
Yes. And I remember it like she almost was gonna not let me watch the movie anymore because of that scene.
What?
Yes, yes.
Dude,
It was a bad deal.
Dude.
Yeah. So I just remember being 7 or 8 or 6 or whatever, and I was just in turmoil, guys, because I
yeah.
was like, is mom gonna take this damn tape away from me?
Dude, and
Wow. She didn't
Yeah.
look at it like Obi-Wan when, he
No,
talks to Luke Skywalker. Oh
no,
man.
dude,
no.
it's people like that when aliens show up one day, if they do, they're gonna ruin it for us because they're gonna be like, it's demons, it's the devil. But
And no, hey, that scene you were talking about though, Drew, like where Michael Dudikoff, is
Yeah.
able to ascend. That reminds me of Beverly Hills Ninja when Chris Farley,
oh my
us-
gosh.
That's
he
probably where they stole it from.
he's trying to master it, but he's such a, he's Chris Farley, so he's bumping it, he's flying all over the place and stuff. That's just great. I think that's great.
He was
Man, the American Ninja set up the mystic ninja thing, between Michael Dudikoff doing his thing and then the guy that worked at Canon, Sho Kazuki. Sho
Okay.
Kazuki and Michael Dudikoff set off the Mystic Ninja thing because Sho Kazuki was a guy that came from Japan, that started. He had the straight blade and he called it his ninjato, his own special blend of sword that he came from Japan with, and he was on Black Belt magazine, and it said, "Here he is, the real ninja, Sho Kazuki."
This
And
is
then
the
he did
real
the
deal.
movies. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, he started doing movies and they were like, oh, this guy's legit ninja from Japan. He does ninjutsu. He's got a ninjato and there he is. And then, after that, then they're like, okay, now we need a American counterpart,
Enter,
and then here comes Michael
yeah,
Dudikoff,
enter
you
our boy,
know,
dude. They lost me at like sequel 7 and 8 of that franchise. I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
it,
I'm
it,
done.
it just went, the interesting thing about it was when they got to 3 and then you brought in David Bradley was a better martial artist,
But
all
not as
hands
good
down.
of an actor.
No, he wasn't as good as an
Yeah.
actor as Michael Dudikoff, but he was the better martial artist. And then they had the fourth one where they put them both together. But it was weird because like Dudikoff like shows up like at the end,
Yeah.
to get with him. And then it's like, but wait a minute, they should have been together the whole movie. Like
Oh,
that's what we all wanted.
that was 100%. We only have enough money for like
Yeah.
2 scenes with Michael Dudikoff.
Yeah, we can only pay him here. You show up at the end, and then Bradley we can afford because he can. I was like, man, just pay the money and put them both. But that's Canon Films.
What was Josh? What was your least favorite scene in this movie?
The climax of the Shredder fight.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to see. I mean, the turtles just get their butts kicked, you know, and all Splinter does is just step aside, you know, with a little. I don't know. I wanted more than just a little.
Okay. All right.
Like I was a little let down by the final fight. I thought it would have been cool to see the turtles working as a team, like maybe getting their butt kicked because they're going at it, you know, like individually.
Mhm.
And then they're like, when they start working together, maybe do a little better against Shredder. But it's like they got their butt kicked the whole time. And the only reason he got beat is he got too cocky, you know, and Splinter just stepped aside and did the nunchuck thing. And
Well, you know what's funny about that is how I interpreted Shredder. I don't think Shredder got cocky. I think he did exactly what Raphael had been doing the entire film.
yes,
And he saw rage, and he abandoned all of his training that he had, and he didn't maintain what he needed to be level-headed to battle Splinter. Instead, he ran headfirst right into it. All he saw was red, and he's dead. They tossed his ass right into that garbage compactor. I think that's what it was.
he was only slightly dead. Slightly dead.
Right.
Just like
And
Ian
that's
Malcolm
why
in the second
Leonardo
Jurassic
is the
Park
best
book.
turtle.
I'm telling you, I think next level storytelling, because it's not, they don't hit you in the face with it, but it's obvious. It's like he was pulling a Raphael and he lost. And Splinter did exactly what he had been preaching to Raphael the entire film. Level-headed, calm, almost like Miyagi. He could interpret what was going to happen before it even happened.
That's
So,
a really good take on it.
that's what it was.
Yeah, and you asked earlier. You asked Drew, and he didn't get a chance to answer because we've like gone off the rails. What did you think of the turtles' representation in the movie? Like,
Drew,
what were your thoughts on the turtles?
So the way that are you asking like the way that they're seen in the movie, like, you know, just their reputation all together?
Just how they look, how they're put together, how they're represented, how they fight.
Okay. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Okay. I just want to make sure. I thought that they did a great job. I'm glad they used the colored headbands because it does separate the turtles. You know which one you're working with. The different personalities I thought were great. The mesh of the pieces of the cartoon show combined with the comic book mix, I thought was great. It came out really good. And I was impressed with the suits. I had never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Jim Henson knocked it out of the park. Him and Brian did a great job. The voices, the mouth movements, the eyes, the weapon use, the martial arts was fantastic. And really drove it home in a big way. I still say that this turtle movie is one of the best comic book movies. I would say I would even say it's like the best, because it really tried to give you something special. It tried to make it as authentic as they could make it. They pushed for that. And that's something you don't get in a lot of comic book movies. You know, they always want to jazz it up, you know, like when they did Batman, it's like, oh, he has to wear all black. Well, how come he can't wear black and gray or black and blue? It's like, no, it's got to be all black. And, you know, they picked Michael Keaton, and nothing against Michael Keaton, but we all know comic book comparison, it's not a matchup at all, you know, and it's far different, you know, and a lot of movies were like that, you know, Turtles, Christopher Reeves as Superman. Those were kind of the ones that really tried to take what we know of the character from the comic books, what we've idolized and seen throughout the years. Those were really the two movies that really tried to drive that home.
I would argue Dick Tracy did pretty good.
Oh, Dick Tracy did great. Josh, you're right. No, I don't want to leave that out. Thank you, Josh. Yes, I'm a big Dick Tracy fan too.
So the 1990 Dick Tracy movie is not talked about nearly enough.
Too much competition is the only thing that killed it, I think. And they and they built it up as like just a children's thing, you know.
Hey, fun fact, real quick. Al Pacino was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in that movie.
Yeah.
That's
He was
insane.
great.
That's
He was great.
insane.
You had a fun fact. I'll give you a funny story. That year, I was not a Dick Tracy fan that year. Okay. I had to appreciate it as I got older. For my birthday, my grandma got me like 6 action figures, and I could tell when I saw the presents, and I was like thinking Ninja Turtles, or something like that. They were all Dick Tracy toys, probably on sale, like marked down in the bargain bin.
Awesome. That's still awesome.
I wish I still had them. I would
Me too.
appreciate them now.
Yeah, I was a Dick Tracy fan. I'm going to tell you guys real quick, Josh. I think you'll appreciate this. You know what I had to wear to school that was Dick Tracy? I had the limited release of the Dick Tracy Vans, the lace-up
wow.
Vans.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those weren't even
And they
available.
are hard as heck to get.
Yeah, those weren't even available in my area at that time.
Yeah, me being from SoCal,
No way.
Vans being, the home of, Vans and
Gay
SoCal and all
culture.
that. My mom got me the limited release. She got me 2 pairs. So I could, when I outgrew one set, I could wear another because she knew I liked them. And I had the Converse Batman 89 Batmans too, that were hard to find because everybody, they overstocked for Joker, but for some reason for Batman, they didn't have as many put out and they were kind of harder to get. So I had the Batman Converse and I had the Dick Tracy Vans when they came out.
Mother of the century right there.
She was pretty cool with it. She's a trip,
amazing.
but I give her credit. She didn't try to take me out of the movie, unlike what Alex had to go through. So I'll give her credit. She let me watch the Turtles, and she didn't complain. She took me to some of those movies, and if she didn't go, her sister, my aunt that lived right in Los Angeles, who still does to this day, she's now in her 80s, but she took me to do 89 Batman. She took me to do Batman Returns, and she was glad to do it. And so I got to see all these movies. My mom did Dick Tracy when it came out. So I got to see them the day they came out. Now, Batman, I got to see the sneak preview night. My aunt had a hookup. She had hookups down in LA. So she knew a lot of actors. Her friend, Felton Perry, was actually in the original RoboCop. So,
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Her friend is Felton Perry,
That
who
is
played
awesome.
Donald Johnson, the OCP guy that eats the baby food in the original RoboCop. Tastes like baby food.
That's great.
Yeah, that's my mom and aunt's friend, Felton, who also played Dirty Harry's partner in Magnum Force, who gets killed with the mailbox. So
Cool, man.
Got too much
She
cool.
had
you got too
hookups.
much cool stuff going on. That's not fair. He's
It-
got too many cool stories.
if I could share it with you, Josh, I would share it with you. Seriously.
No, I know it's all good. Like I was
I'd
gonna
share
say-
with you and Alex. If we were all kids together, I'd have hooked you guys up like wherever I went, because all my friends will tell you, like, yeah, wherever Drew went, he would bring us with him, and I would take them. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna go to the movies. You guys are coming too, and so we would, talk to mom and dad, and we do a whole movie thing, So I would, I put it together.
It wouldn't have went the other way around because I only had enough money to take my own ass.
Yeah,
so
I
you
was-
guys are screwed.
broke.
Dude, we would have paid for you. We would have paid for you.
Awesome.
We
You
would
know,
have paid
Um,
for you.
my first movie to ever see was in theaters was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I was like 3 or 4, and I remember that. But no, I was going to answer Alex's question about the turtle representation, my opinions, and I'll do it quickly. I like the look. I like how even with primitive suits and stuff, like they still emoted pretty good. Anger and stuff like that, even though it was very limited. I will say still image is not that great because the wrinkly arms are kind of freaking me out a little bit on the turtle behind me, but in motion it's better. But as far as the turtles, like Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines, and Raphael's
didn't-
cool but rude.
He didn't Donatello. They like with Corey Feldman being Donatello in this movie.
They dropped the
didn't-
ball.
They didn't really have the machine aspect. They didn't have the technical aspect. He was almost like another extension of Michelangelo to me in this movie.
He was.
Good way
I
of
was
putting
about
It
to
was
get-
almost like, yeah, there was like 2 party dudes. It's like there was really the only aspect of machines for Donatello in this movie. He was the one helping Casey Jones fix the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the only inkling.
I was about
that
to.
he-
I was gonna say like they dropped the ball with Donatello.
for sure.
Everybody else they did really good with, especially Raph. I think Raph is the VIP MVP of the movie. Leonardo's great too, but I think he might have been represented better in the comics and stuff. But like in the movie itself, it's definitely, if there was a main turtle, it would be Raph, I think, for this story.
For the movie, yes.
Yeah.
I would agree.
His arc is the one that we're really following. I like the look. I prefer it over the CG. I would love for them to like do a new Ninja Turtle movie and just go full 90s stuff with it. You know, like do suits again like this, puppetry and stuff. Like forget the CGI, leave that out. You can do it without it and you can do it good. That would be a cool throwback, like a freaking part 4 for real, you know, do it right this time.
I'm gonna piggyback off both you guys. They nailed it with the designs. They nailed it with the representation of all the turtles except for Donatello, who I really enjoyed, by the way, being less of a nerd. I think they go too heavy with the Donatello has to have glasses now. I think they lean too heavy into that aspect. I do enjoy Donatello in this film, but they definitely dropped the ball with who his true character was. I like that the martial arts that they capture on screen is true to how they carry themselves, how they have to practice, how they have a sensei who has to level them out. I like that there's a backstory to the origin of the Foot Clan and what they studied. I like that they have to practice with their weapons. I like that they're teenagers. I like that they enjoy all the shit that I enjoyed. When I was in high school, guys, if there was any way that I could get pizza, Taco Bell, or McDonald's, I'm in. I'm trying to figure this out. They kind of have that same attitude. They're eating crap. I like that they're having a good time. I like that they all are attracted to April. They all want April. It's obvious. When I was in high school, I was the same exact way. Girls, 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 anything. I love it. I love all of it. I will say that the only thing that took me out of it was the suits on a rewatch are a little rubbery. They are a little, you can see creases, especially when Raph is in the bathtub. His shell is like foam fitting to the tub. You can see it folding on itself. So it took me out of it a little bit, but overall, they hit it out of the park on the first try.
Yeah.
They never were able to replicate this.
Nope.
They screwed up on 2 and 3.
This is lightning in a bottle right here.
Yeah, Drew, it never came close again, in my opinion.
No, you're 100% correct. This is the definitive turtle movie. And like I said, like I would consider it to be the best comic book movie out there, like because they really tried to bring that home. Like, you know, because like I was saying, like, you know, like the X-Men, you know, it's like, oh, everybody's got to wear these black leather suits.
I was just
Nobody can wear the yellow spandex. Why not? Well, it's not going to look good. Well, we had Hugh Jackman in the mask and the suit, and he looked great. Yeah. And it was like, you could have done this way back when, but everybody's like, oh, no. That's what I'm saying. They compromise these movies and they start making their own lore, you know? And it's like, well, I'm not really watching the X-Men. I'm watching Party at 5 with mutant powers, you know, and here we go, you know, and it's just like,
Scott Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Wolf.
Yeah. See, it's like, so the Turtles, they nailed it with that movie. The look of the city, the grime, the dirt, you know, the feel of where they were. You just feel you're in that place. You know, it was very reminiscent of, because my favorite thing is the original Star Wars trilogy. And it was like, when you watch the original Star Wars trilogy, you feel like you're on those planets. You feel, you know, that world, you know, you're living it and you get to walk through it. And Turtles kind of had that same thing with me of like, you're feeling that world. You're there with them.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to tell you guys, it felt like New York City was a character in the movie. Like it was a character. It was like everything that you could do correct with New York, they did, which is ironic because New Line Cinema did the absolute. Oh, actually, it was Paramount at the time. Jason Takes Manhattan, Josh.
Yeah.
The Jason movie.
Jason takes a boat and takes Vancouver. But yeah,
everything Turtles did right with New York, that movie did wrong with New York. New York feels like its own character in this film.
Yes, it does.
It's perfect. We're gonna take our last commercial break. So stay with us, Slashaholics, and we'll be right back. And we're gonna talk about our favorite parts, least favorite parts, and then we're gonna grade this masterpiece.
Fresh from the sewer. And into your Nintendo Entertainment System comes Ultra's version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now you can take control of these heroes in a half shell as they nunchuck, swim, and bazooka blast their way through sewers and streets, ridding the world of rival robots, wretched ruffians, and the evil Foot Clan forever. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're out of the sewers and available where Ultra games are sold.
I kind of wanted to be a Foot Clan member. You get to play at arcade machines and
Just those hot ass girls at the Foot Clan headquarters.
right. You don't have to be a robot to join.
Hey, it was the happening time, because a lot of it, that scene where they're in the arcade reminded me a lot of California at the time, because we had a lot of arcades. California was the happening place. They tape movies there all the time. That's no lie. I mean, they tape movies like in the middle of the day in California. Shut down the side of the road.
I used to go to the only arcade in like a tri-county area. It was at this softball field, baseball field area with a bunch of fields in it. And there was this like fantasy game where like you're playing like a warrior type dude, and you're like walking left to right, and it's been driving me crazy for years. I can't remember the name of it, and I've tried looking up arcade games and stuff, and I just cannot find it. And as soon as you said arcade, it like got back in my head, so I'm going to be hunting again for that after we're done.
It's not Altered Beast, is it?
No, it's not. That's one I thought it might be, but it's
Altered Beast was
Narc?
No. Like a lot of the it's not a big name one. Like, but
is it the one Fabio used to model for?
Golden Axe?
Is that what it was? Golden Axe?
Yeah, I think he did modeling for Golden Axe. I met him, by the way, in Las Vegas.
Fabio?
I met him in 2001 in Las Vegas at the Bellagio Hotel. We shared an elevator.
He's probably pretty. Anything I've seen about him is he's a nice person.
He is the nicest guy. His hair is beautiful. And he was the nicest guy. And when I saw him, I said, man, I'm a fan. I said, I know people tell you about the butter commercial and the romance novels, but I remember you from Acapulco Heat, the special agent TV show. He said, you remember that show? I said, yeah. I said, yeah, man. Michael Worth is one of my favorite martial artists of that time.
That's
he was on that show. So
it's not it.
It was pretty happening. I'm sorry, Josh. Maybe we'll find the game. I'll stumble across maybe an old back of a comic book from the 80s or 90s and be like, hey, it's
there you go.
That guy right here.
All right, Josh.
If I could see a picture or hear the music, I would know in a heartbeat. But go.
All right, Josh. It's that time. We're going to talk about our favorite part of the film, which we kind of have a little bit already, but I have definitely a different take than Josh did, which I think my favorite part is his least favorite part. And then we're going to talk about if the movie holds up to this day, which I kind of think you guys know where we're going to go with that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to rate the movie and the rating system Slashaholics today. 4 penicillin pizzas out of 4. 4 being the best, 1 being the worst. Josh, Drew, I want both of your opinions. I don't care who goes first. Favorite part of the movie?
I'm going to let Drew go first. I just wanted to say, even though my least favorite part was the fight with Shredder, I still do love the dumps where he lands in the trash truck in case he does all that.
Oops.
I did love that. So before you, go ahead, Drew. Favorite part?
Sure. Here we go. The rat. So he has a name. He had a name. You lie. Do I? It's my favorite scene.
Yeah, mine too. Absolutely. On top of when they confront the Shredder, I love it. I love how pissed off they are. They're all working together, just like Josh said he wanted them to do, which is weird that they didn't all 4. They took turns fighting him, which was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Because in the comic book, they all kind of they work together
And he dies.
and fight him and then stop him.
and
you
he
know?
dies. They kill him in the comic book. Yes, they kill him in the comic book, and
Yeah.
Shredder kills himself with a thermite grenade. He
Yeah,
blows-
like when he's dying or messed up, he grabs that thermite grenade and tries to do that whole thing. So I agree with Josh. I didn't like the fact that Splinter did this because in the comic book, what you find out is like Splinter's like, I can't do it because I'm too old. You've got to do it for me. That's why I trained you guys was to take this guy out. Like that is your whole mission and purpose is to take him out. So when they did that in the movie, it was kind of like, all right, it's okay, but it would have been a million times better if the Turtles actually handled it
yeah.
and did it that way, and I think it would have been a lot better had they did it that way. But it's still cool, but I agree with
I love
Josh.
that when each turtle, like they're going 1, 2, 3, and they're like, damn, and like, okay, you're gonna go fight him. But I love it when it's Raphael's turn, he yells out this really loud battle cry as he's jumping into battle. To this day, I get goosebumps from that like split second. Raphael jumping in, does the battle cry. I love it. It's phenomenal. I don't like that they don't fight them together. That's phenomenal. Damn.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. Michelangelo had any shot by himself.
Right.
When you watch the scene, check it out though. Mikey and Leo last the longest.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah.
Donatello gets
he
taken
actually
out
lasts.
quick.
He's taken out real fast.
Nerd.
So is Raphael.
For sure.
So Leo and Mikey were the two. And Leo cut him.
Oh, he sure did.
He cut him right across the arm.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Does this movie hold up to this day? And Josh, you're going to go first, and then we're going to roll with Drew.
Okay. Well, my favorite scene I said was the bathtub scene, but it's really whenever he's waking up. That was a really awesome scene for me, touching scene.
For
All right.
sure.
The movie holds up, definitely. I don't need to go into a long thing. I've already talked about it. I think they could do a movie right now with doing the suits, but making them a little better. And it would be just as fun. It's the perfect comic book movie. So it holds up.
Absolutely. Drew, what say you, my brother?
All right. Here's what I'll say.
He's setting up the scene.
Turtle power. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Love it so much. When these came out, I didn't care how much they were. I was like, I'm getting them all. Turtles has ruled my life for so long. I had all the pajamas, the bed sheets, turtle blimp, and everything. And this movie is the definitive movie for Ninja Turtles and comic books in general. And it shows that these two goofy guys named Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman can take a Daredevil inspiration and in the middle of the night and draw something and turn it into a $1 billion franchise.
It's unbelievable.
So
and
that's
make 10,000 copies.
Mhm.
So that's a big yes. It does hold up, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It is a huge, huge yes.
It's funny. You said pajamas. Just a quick tidbit. I was going to say this earlier, and I didn't get a chance to do it. When I took the kids to see the 2014 Ninja Turtles, they were doing a raffle up front of the theater where you could win like a poster, and the grand prize wasn't huge. It was a pair of toy nunchucks that came with a Michelangelo pajama set. And I signed up my son and my daughter, who was 4 at the time, 6-year-old son, 4-year-old daughter. And they called later. Alexis won the pajama set.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool memory. Like they called and they said, yeah, Alexis LaRue. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, here, the phone's for you. And handed it to my 4-year-old daughter. She was so excited.
Oh, that's cool. She was 4 when that happened.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's really cool. I obviously think the movie holds up. I think that this movie, whenever I say something like what I'm about to say, I feel like if I say a song could come out from 1985 and just be released today and be a hit, I feel like this movie could be released. Never having seen it, it was never released, right? And they just dropped it now. like it's brand new, I think it would be a hit today.
Yeah.
I think it holds up 100%. It's almost a perfect movie. And now it's time to grade the movie, guys. We're doing 4 out of 4 penicillin pizzas. Josh, what's your grade, man?
Perfect.
4?
Perfect 4. I don't even need to go into why it's a 4. I already have. I've already gone into why I think it's perfect. So,
Drew, how many penicillin pizzas are you giving it, buddy?
I give it 4 plus 10
What?
plus a million. It is beautiful. There is no other great movie. The only movie I would put, oh well, my top favorite movie is Empire Strikes Back, but Turtles is phenomenal. So perfect top score.
Okay. I'm gonna give it 3
Get out.
3/4.
no.
Oh,
No. Out.
3 3/4. I love this movie. I don't like that they. I don't. They went a little too heavy with Danny, April's boss's son. A little too much there. I would have liked to see a little more Tatsu, and I would have loved to see that scene where Shredder is fighting the 4-foot soldiers for the Dragon Dochi headband. I feel like when the full movie is released, like the way the director intended, and it's finally released, in 4K, maybe my grade will change. But I'm giving it 3 3/4 out of 4. This is the highest rated movie, by the way, Drew, that we've ever
That's
done
true.
on this channel.
Okay.
Ever.
I give it that. I was going to tell both you guys there is a scene too with Tatsu. You know where he beats up the student?
Yeah, he backhands him.
The original scene where he fights the Foot Clan soldier in the locker room, the Foot Clan soldier was supposed to die.
Oh,
Tatsu
wow.
kills him.
Okay, I believe that Tatsu doesn't give an F. He is a
No, he
bad
doesn't.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's annoyed by the kids' silliness too. That's why when they're playing video games and they bump into him, he's like, "Go play," because he's annoyed.
Yeah,
Because he's
get
just
out of
like,
here.
we should be training, we should be focusing these kids and getting them
Yeah.
ready, and we're doing this silly stuff to pull them in.
If
So
he was
as
running
you-
things, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm saying,
No,
No,
go
no,
ahead,
go,
Jake.
Josh, go ahead, go ahead.
if he was running things, do you think he would have succeeded?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
think
think
the Turtles
Tatsu
would have
would
been
have
in trouble.
succeeded.
I think
Yeah.
the Turtles would have been in trouble for sure.
Yeah,
He
he
was-
wouldn't have put up with anything. He like Shredder's the man, but he plays the gimmick a little bit. Where
He's got
like,
an ego.
yeah, and then like Tatsu's just like, I'm just gonna get it done. If
Yep.
it's not right, somebody's getting hit, somebody's gonna die. That's just what it'll be.
Mhm.
That's him. So Tatsu, he's raw. And then the second movie, of course they goofed him up.
Yeah.
Oh my
but-
god.
That first movie, he was it.
Yep.
He was vicious.
He was easily handing Casey Jones his ass until Casey Jones got his hand on that golf club out of nowhere, by the way. Like
Yeah.
he didn't see it coming. Had Casey Jones not used a foreign object, like game
International
over.
object.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have
international
gone
object.
good.
Done deal.
Do you guys want me to show you the figures?
Sure.
Sure.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to see them. Tell me who you want to start with. I have all the main characters. They did make a Danny figure as an exclusive, but I was not a fan of Danny. So second to you on that one. I was
Does
not a fan of
Danny-
Danny.
Does Danny's figure come with the $20 he stole from April? Or the
Yes, he
$40?
does. I'm
Oh,
not
get
kidding.
out of here! Stop.
I'm not kidding. I am
Stop.
not kidding. I'm not. These guys come with like the craziest accessories. So yes,
What the
yes, he
hell?
does.
Uh,
And the Sid
Vern.
Vicious shirt and everything. Oh yeah.
let's end the show by looking at these figures, man.
You name which one you guys want to see first. What do you guys want to see first?
Vern.
What? Who?
I don't have Vert, so you got to go
Um,
1990 movie.
Okay. I thought you meant the cartoon series.
Oh no, I'm sorry about that, Josh. Yeah, 1990 movie is what I ended up
Let's see
getting.
Shredder.
Let's see Shredder.
Shredder is a cool one. Let me get the camera right, because not only does he look great, not only does he do everything, but let's see.
Oh, sweet.
He's got the
Got the
slice on his
scars.
face.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
He
you
just
get
winked
the
at me. What the hell, man? He just winked at me. Hey, did either of you guys ever play Turtles on the playground?
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
Did you ever do the thing where you pull the shirt up over your face and pull your hoodie down tight to be Shredder? Or is that just me?
We
No,
didn't.
people
No,
did that all
I
the
was-
time.
I didn't do that. Like for sure though. We were
Hold the
playing
hoodie
and I
down.
was Mikey every time.
Oh, okay.
Or
When I was
people got
Shredder-
like a t-shirt and they would put it over their face, you know, stuff like that. Or they would do the turtle fingers.
Yes. Yep.
And everybody did the turtle fingers. So they did stuff like that. So that was, what's the next one you guys want to see?
Josh, take it.
Raphael.
Raphael.
Everything froze on me for a second there. All right, now I can see it. Oh, that's
He's-
great. I love the detail.
Yeah, those are sick. And he's missing a
He's-
sigh.
Yeah, that's why it took a second. I was looking for but I gotta
Oh,
get it
that's
up there.
awesome. That's awesome. He's missing one
I thought that they did that on purpose.
because he lost.
No,
one.
he comes with both.
Okay, I thought they were doing it on
Nah,
purpose.
he's got
works.
both.
It does work though. Yep.
He's got both in there. But they,
But-
they have the back of their headbands are switchable, so you can make it look like it's more in the air, more down.
Okay.
It came
That's
with a
cool.
couple.
So you're showing off your action figures. Where's the Venus de Milo action figure? Where's it at? Where's she at?
I don't know.
Oh, turtle sexist. Turtle
Oh, I don't know. She magically disappeared
Ah,
somewhere.
it is time for us to go ninja, go ninja, go. I made a funny.
Viewers, vanish.
Thank you all so much for watching. Casey Jones in the house. Love it. Don't hold it against Alex for not giving this movie a perfect score. And if you do it in the comment section. We're light on mean comments. So we'd love to have them.
Please.
Be excellent to each other. Oh, that's cool. And remember, the sun never sets on those who ride into it. Is anything you want to say before we go, Drew?
I want to thank you guys for having me on the show and putting up
Thanks
with
for
me.
coming.
Thanks for having me. And I really appreciate it. And I hope I get a chance to hang out with you, wonderful gentlemen, again.
Oh, yeah.
Stay in touch. I mean, Alex hits me up all the time, and I love hearing from him. It's encouraging. And I want people to know that Alex is one of the most encouraging individuals out there. And I could tell Josh has that in him too. So these guys are a great group. Please check out their channel, support it, like it, and see what they do next, because it's going to be good.
Thank you so
Damn.
much.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
for being
Drew.
here.
Yeah.
Say
Thanks,
goodnight,
man.
Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, dogs. But also, I need you guys to do me a favor. Check out Drew's new channel because he's back
Oh,
too,
yes.
right? Plug your channel. real
I
quick.
am back. The only
Plug it.
reason I haven't done a ton of stuff is because I have been working with somebody else to put out the most amazing thing you guys are going to see on YouTube. I'm not kidding. I've
What?
been working with him like for over a month. We've been
Okay.
putting something special together.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So then once this is done, and we're releasing here very soon. So once this is done, then the adventures of Drew Danger X will continue.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, man. That's it. In the show, Josh.
Oh, I did. Go buy Celestial Slumber at Amazon. Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Off in the distance, the game's dragging on. There's strikes on the batter, some runners are on. Then suddenly everyone's looking at me. My mind has been wondering, what could it be? They point to the sky and I look up above. and a baseball falls into my glove. I play right field. It's important you know. You gotta know how to catch. You gotta know how to throw. That's why I play in right field, way out where the dandelions grow.
As a proud sponsor of Little League Baseball, Pizza Hut welcomes all the kids who make it great.